First at 5, the end of the mask mandates in Oregon and Washington is just hours away. At 11:59 tonight, masks will no longer be required in indoor public places or schools. Good evening. Thank you for joining us. I'm Laurel Porter.
And I'm David Molko. Starting Monday, masks are going to be optional in Portland public schools along with most other districts. And some students say they're just not comfortable with that yet. So today, instead of cracking open their books, they walked out of their classrooms in protest.
Our Mike Benner joins us live with that story. Mike?
Yeah, Laurel, we are live outside Lincoln High School. There are students here and elsewhere across the district who are feeling pretty anxious heading into the weekend and heading into Monday specifically. They believe that district leaders made a bad call by making masking optional.
It's been a hard 2 years.
Outside Portland Public School headquarters Friday morning, approximately 24 students protest the lifting of the mask mandate at 11:59 Friday night.
I think that, honestly, telling people that they are allowed to take off their masks is really selfish to people who don't have that option.
Among Serafina Sabatini's concerns about making masks optional in PPS schools come Monday, the younger kids she works with in her free time, namely the little kids she crosses paths with as a swim instructor.
I can't wear a mask during that. I wear a face shield, but since we're in the pool, I can't wear a mask, and I don't want to have the mask mandate lifted at schools because then I will be exposed and could possibly expose part of the vulnerable population.
It's the vulnerable population these PPS students are most worried about.
I see my grandma every week, but she's not super immunocompromised. It's just in general, I have friends who live with their grandparents.
I feel very strongly that there are some people in our community that are going to be pretty heavily impacted by lifting the mask mandate.
Many of us are anxious about these changes.
At a Friday afternoon press conference outlining Oregon's pandemic recovery plan, state leaders addressed the students' concerns about shedding masks.
Our districts are using the COVID-19 community levels tool that now shows most of Oregon's counties in the low level of community levels, and suggests from the CDC that it is a time where it's safe for people to go without masks.
Oregon Department of Education Director Colt Gill reminds students that masks will never be prohibited. He encourages students and staff who want to continue wearing masks to do so. And you better believe this group will be among them.
Of course I will, and KN95.
All right, it's worth mentioning we did reach out to Portland Public Schools for a comment on the walkout and rally. They did not get back to us directly, but we know that late this afternoon they sent an email to parents acknowledging what a big step this is. They are urging people to practice compassion and understanding. They say masked or not masked, everybody should feel they belong. Laurel?
Right as we go through this transition, as they said, give each other grace. Thank you, Mike.
So even if it feels like we've sort of been here before, we're really moving into a new normal with masks still required on public transit and in healthcare settings. Plus, the feds are sticking with masks in airports for at least another month or so. Oregon health officials say this next phase here is about adjusting priorities while still being able to respond.
Moving forward, we can enhance our resilience against COVID-19 with our shared commitment to make Oregon a better place for our families and each other. We don't know what the end of the pandemic will bring, but we do know that together, Oregon will rise.
And on that note, the state will continue to monitor sewage water for COVID trends. Vaccines are still here. Healthcare facilities will be supplied with treatments and PPE, and they'll be maintaining our testing capacity just in case it's needed again.
Some students at Alder Creek Middle School in Milwaukee walked out of class today over allegations involving a substitute. Details about the allegations are scarce. The school is opening an investigation. Yesterday, Alder Creek sent out a letter to parents saying it has been made aware of an accusation against the teacher. They say student safety is a top priority, and the adult in question is not allowed on campus while the investigation is underway. The men's basketball coach for Mount Hood Community College has been arrested. He's facing charges for online sexual corruption of a child. In August, Nathan Bowie was part of a basketball clinic in Glide, Oregon. He's accused of telling female athletes to follow him on social media, then later using the connection to start a relationship. The Douglas County Sheriff's Office says Bowie asked for intimate images and videos of a minor and planned to meet her for a sexual encounter. Deputies say Bowie may have used similar tactics at other clinics.
Well, to an update now on the allegations surrounding former Timbers player Andy Polo. Now, newly released audio appears to support claims that the Timbers pressured the estranged wife of the former player not to press domestic violence charges. Our Kyle Eboshi has obtained a copy of the full recording. Kyle, this comes after the Timbers denied even the mere suggestion of interfering here.
Yeah, the alleged victim's attorney, Michael Fuller, gave me a copy of the full 54-minute audio recording. In it, the Timbers head of security and another unidentified woman spoke at length to the estranged wife of former Portland Timbers player Andy Polo. According to police reports, Polo was issued a citation after an alleged domestic violence incident in June of 2021. Roughly 2 weeks later, Polo's estranged wife claims Timbers representatives came to her home and pressured her not to press charges against the midfielder. We don't know who made this recording, but in it, we hear from the Timbers head of security and an unidentified woman. It's not clear who she works for. The woman describes resources available to the alleged victim of domestic violence, including transportation, shelter, and food. She also explains through an interpreter the charges against Polo and how a criminal case could play out or be avoided.
That goes to the district attorney's office. And then that office may call you to see if you want to pursue those charges. And again, you can say, yes, I want to, or no, I do not. Of course, we're hoping you say, no, you do not.
The Timbers declined to comment on the recording until after a review by Major League Soccer. The accusations of domestic violence led to the termination of Polo's contract by the Timbers last month. His estranged wife is suing him in federal court, and today her lawyer sent a letter to the Timbers suggesting there may be other defendants in the case, including possibly the team executives, or lawyers involved.
Thank you, Kyle. In Vancouver, police are asking for help finding a missing person considered to be in danger. Take a look at your screen now. Shelby Smith hasn't been seen since 2:30 this morning. Police say Smith may have been injured near Northeast St. John's Road and 49th Street and may require medical attention. Smith is described as 5'7", 140 pounds, with hazel eyes and red hair. Anyone who saw Smith last night or knows where she is asked to contact Vancouver police. Portland police are asking for your help to track down 17-year-old Chenin Wengu. The teen hasn't been seen since leaving her home in the Centennial neighborhood on Wednesday about 5 o'clock. Wengu is developmentally disabled, is not dressed for the weather, does not have a phone nor money. She does know her name, but will likely not be able to provide a home address or phone number. If you see her or know where she is, call 911 immediately.
Well, now to the push to protect kids and teens from a surge in overdoses and deaths after 2 Portland public school students died of suspected fentanyl overdoses. So we decided to take a closer look at what one mother is calling her mission. Michelle Lee Stroh lost her son Keaton in 2020 after he overdosed on counterfeit oxy pills that were laced with the cheaper, stronger drug fentanyl. Experts say this is happening more and more. Fentanyl deaths doubling in Multnomah County between 2020 and 2021. So tonight, Stroh is fed up with watching families go through all of this heartache. She's joined the Oregon City School Board, and next week, the board is set to vote on her plan to get Narcan, that's the nasal spray that reverses the overdose effects, into each and every school.
These kids are dying from just being kids. And these aren't just addicts that are dying. These are kids that are just trying something for the first time thinking, oh, I got it from my friend, or it's just one pill. And they're not getting a second chance for making a bad mistake.
And so she's fighting for that. Similar pushes popping up in school districts across the country. Last year, the Beaverton district launched a campaign called Fake and Fatal, warning kids about the dangers, and they placed Narcan in every middle and high school and trained at least one staff member in every building how to use it.
Powerful, one pill can kill. With the homeless crisis pushing beyond the city, Portland's suburbs struggle to deal with the challenge too. Beaverton's mayor says the city has the highest number of teens without homes in the state. And today, Washington County turned to Multnomah County. Here's Christelle Kumwe.
This is a regional problem. This is not just a Portland problem. And our communities have to step up and do this.
Beaverton's mayor and Washington County commissioners came together Friday in an effort to find solutions to homelessness. Beaverton Mayor
representation of
Lacey Beatty.
We have a safe park program in our community. The average person in that is a 70-year-old woman. Beaverton also has a very sad statistic of the highest rate of teens experiencing homelessness in the state. So we know our issues are around our elderly and our young people, and so we're coming together to look at a way to bridge those two models and open a shelter.
The mayor reached out to Multnomah County Commissioner Jessica Vega Peterson for a tour of Laurelwood Center.
It's not just housing that's here, but there are supports, there's navigations, there's health, there's a lot of things that people need to be successful here to keep them stable and get them on the path to permanent housing.
The center is funded by Multnomah County and run by nonprofit Transition Projects. The shelter has 120 beds and prioritizes people older than 55, those with disabilities, and veterans. Since opening in 2019, it served more than 1,000 people, helping more than 300 people transition into housing. But there were challenges.
And I started a 10-month-long process with business people, with schools in the area, with neighborhood association members to talk about what this place could be here.
Before Laurelwood could be built, there was an intensive community engagement process and dealing with neighborhood opposition.
The one thing we can all agree on is no one wants to see people homeless on the street. And so whether it's in my backyard or somebody else's backyard, we have to come together with creative solutions to fix this problem.
Beaverton has not revealed any locations for the shelter. The city has so far partnered with the legislature for funding in Washington County to operate it.
I hope this isn't a problem in 10 or 15 years from now, but right now, we desperately need these services in Washington County. We cannot pretend like this is a problem that exists only in Portland.
Christelle Kumwe, KGW News.
Well, to the war in Ukraine now, with the president now calling for an end to normal trade relations with Russia, with plans to ban certain imports like seafood, vodka, and some diamonds. Meanwhile, U.S. defense officials say the Russian invasion is gaining momentum with what appears to be more indiscriminate bombing of more civilian targets in more places. The death toll, civilian death toll, at least 564 people, according to the UN. Now, in Washington, some Republicans spoke out against the president for not delivering fighter jets to Ukraine, though the president defended his decision.
People are dying. Send them the planes that they need.
Don't kid yourself, no matter what you all say. That's called World War III.
Also on Friday, Russia accused the U.S. and Ukraine without evidence of a plot to use birds and bats to spread biological weapons. U.S. officials say Moscow might be using the accusation, which has been widely debunked by Western nations as baseless, as a way to cover up a chemical or bioweapons attack of its own.